Welcome to week 3 of Invest for Impact. I'm Colleen Derrick with Swaggers Insurance Services, and over the past 2 weeks we have been covering off plowing, preparing soil, and then sowing your seed and making sure it's good seed. And this week we are into water and weight. We had covered that our investing goals were to remove rocks and weeds and soften the soil and fertilize, plant the right seed in the right place at the right time, and then to recognize success and share your wealth and joy is what we're going to be moving on towards. We've also talked about really assessing where you're at and what you have to work with. We've also discovered it's really important to target in on what the goal is going to be. Focus, crystallize, clarify, because you can end up on this fantastic train going hard, going fast to the wrong place, or even to a place that does harm. And that's not what our target is, right? And so as we take the time and effort to prepare the space you're investing into, as you take the time to assess your team, avoid hazards, recognize good opportunities, give it your best. These are all things that we've covered in the past couple of weeks. So this week, we're moving forward off of, are you investing your best? Are you investing into what's best? And are you investing in a manner that's best? Now that we've accomplished all of that, how do we get the best result from this really solid foundation? This stage is about observation, attention to detail, and patience. Are you doing the tending and the monitoring, or have you delegated this? Somebody needs to be watching the harvest, right? If you live in Alberta, you know, especially on a day like today, that is so important, because if you have some new sprout seedlings out there that aren't well supported, and even if they are well supported, our wind is gusting today. And it is going to take those plants and it could not just bend them and batter them down or tear off leaves or take off some buds, but it could just break that stem entirely. Somebody needs to be watching and tending and making sure that the good seed you've harvested as it starts to grow is being nurtured and supported, right? Are you needing to move things as they grow, or can they stay put? It's okay to say, wow, you know what? I thought that was going to be a really good spot there. But now watching this, it's been all right, but I suspect that it would grow better if we just moved it to a little bit of a different perspective. Or, wow, that does not have the shelter I thought it was going to have. Or, oh my goodness, this is growing so well, we need more space. These are good problems to have. And if you're taking advantage of them, they're opportunities. If you're not taking advantage of them, they become liabilities, right? What input is needed to maximize your potential? Are things getting too much water, not enough water? Do you need to fertilize, right? And so as you assess, who have you partnered with? Have you delegated this? Are they on top of it? Can you trust them? And if so, that's great. Have them feedback and report to you, just so again, you're collaborating and being part of a team and you have accountability there. What kind of harvest do you dream of? Again, that's recognizing, wow, this is growing so much better than we thought. Let's make sure it really has the room to grow and thrive. Where will your seeds grow best? Again, do we need to reposition? And how can you water for flourishing? Are you on top of what each particular investment is really doing, right? So you can customize and tailor to its needs. When you are obedient in the wait, God will be faithful in the work, and you will be awed in the wonder. Wow. When I think of Invest for Impact, I think this sums it all up right there. So it's time to assess. Do you have what you need to keep the investment growing? So if I've invested money and everything's just dropped, That's okay. This is another great buying opportunity. I'm going to take a look around and say, hey, can I add some more in? Because this is a great time to maybe double that up, right? Who have you involved and where should they be focusing? So somebody was delegated to doing the sowing of the seed. That's great. Now what? Are they also going to be tending, doing the watering? Do you have experts in place who can assess the soil and the richness and what it needs? Because I know that if my husband goes out to look at my roses, he will tell me that 4 of them are dead and we should pull them out. Now, if I have somebody who's maybe more experienced with roses, has a little expertise, has done some research, they're going to go out and say, you know what, that's okay for those 4 varieties. It's early yet. We need to just leave them and wait and watch, because there could be growth coming in the stems that's just not manifesting yet. They haven't budded out yet. They're not supposed to. It's early yet. So am I making the best use of the people on my team? Am I bringing in experts where I need to? Right? Is the visible progress discouraging you? Do you have those poor variety of rose bushes that are showing no growth right now? Did you plant some seedlings and how come they don't have their little heads poking up through the soil yet? Have you been investing in somebody for a while and you're saying, okay, we've been working on this. Where's the growth? Where's the progress? Get on this. And they're just still seeming to be stuck in the same place. That's a problem, right? Don't get discouraged. If these are things you're experiencing, talk to some other people who maybe have, again, some expertise, some experience that can give you some perspective. Or maybe you just need to talk to somebody who will encourage you to be patient and have faith. This is such a critical part of the process, because if you rush it, you're going to miss out. Is your team getting distracted or impatient? So not only are you in the right mindset, but once you get aligned and focused and targeted, feed that out to your team. Communicate that. Make sure that everybody is being brought to that same position. You're encouraging and supporting one another, not just doing your own journey, right? You want to be using that team. And are you running out of servicing capital? That is important that you're mindful, right? So watch if you're doing a financial investment. You know, usually we keep back some emergency funds, some extras. How is that going? Do you have enough to finish the project? That's important to be mindful of that. And then action items. So what are we going to do? We're going to list what the investment needs from you to get it to completion. You're going to set up pictures to keep you excited about the end result. Focus on what you're running towards, right? Try meditation, stretching, listening to soothing music to bring you back into living in this moment. So you don't rush the gun, so you don't bail early, so you don't boycott it because you're discouraged. This is a wonderful time in spring, actually, to go for a lovely walk and just breathe in the smell of the May days. The flowers are starting to bloom and the air is a bouquet of scents. It is glorious. Lots of ways right now that you can just take a breather, relax in a hammock in a sunbeam, grab an iced tea or a lemonade in a shady spot. These are good ways to just help calm our limbic system down, remind it that this is a good process and you need to have faith in your process and you need to give it time. Maintaining hope and settling into the trusting process is key. Okay. Good things come to those who wait. Ecclesiastes 3, for everything there is a season and a time for every activity under heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to harvest. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build up. A time to cry and laugh, grieve, dance, scatter stones. A time to gather stones, embrace, turn away. Time to search and a time to quit searching, time to keep and a time to throw away, time to tear and a time to mend, to be quiet, to speak, to love, to hate, war, peace. What do people really get for all their hard work? So time for all of these things. And what do we get for it? I've seen the burden God has placed on us all. Yet, God has made everything beautiful for its own time. He has planted eternity in the human heart, but even so, people cannot see the whole scope of God's work from beginning to end. So I concluded there is nothing better than to be happy, enjoy ourselves as long as we can. People should eat and drink and enjoy the fruits of their labor, for these are gifts from God. Now, that does not mean we should all be about personal gain and just living for the moment, but it does mean we should celebrate the moment. So as you're waiting, that is not time wasted. It is time to be still and to be grateful and to prepare. Psalm 46. Come see the glorious works of the Lord. See how he brings destruction on the world. He causes wars and end throughout the earth. And he breaks the bow and snaps the spear, and he burns the shields with fire. And he says, be still and know that I am God. I will be honored by every nation. I will be honored throughout the world. We can do our best, but we are not God. And so if we have done our steps 1 and 2 correctly, we are aligned with God and we are working with him for his glory and his purpose. And so he is going to bring a harvest. You have done your part. Be still. Be patient, listen to the Lord, and follow his leading in his time. Psalm 37:34 tells us to put your hope in the Lord and travel steadily along his path. He will honor you by giving you the land, and he will see the wicked destroyed. Galatians 6:9 tells us, so let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest. Yeah, at just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up. Don't give up and don't rush. At just the right time. 80% of the total plant's mass is typically found underground. The underground part of the plant is known as the root system, and the part of the plant which stands above the ground is known as the shoot system. So the root system comprises of roots which hold the plant firmly in the soil. It is also what soaks up the nutrients and moisture from the ground. So absorbing nutrients takes time. Only once these nutrients are absorbed are they utilized for growth. Time. If you are investing time, it is consistency that nets the most profit. Like your teeth, with your brushing, you can't do 1 hour and have the same benefit of having spent 2 minutes each day of the week 7 times, which is 1/4 of the invested time, but gives you a far better bang for your buck. So be wise. Know the value of time. Know and understand the currency of consistency. Energy. If you're investing energy, mass times acceleration equals force. The greatest energy is exerted at the beginning, but the greatest momentum is at the end. Money. The time value of money demonstrates the profit in compounding over time. Time to absorb, time to produce. So be vigilant, but don't rush. Have a great week. And again, please do reach out to Swagers Insurance by phone, by email. You can follow on Facebook. I'll be doing some bonus lives again this week on the God's Money Guide group. You can also reach us on LinkedIn, and you can see some of the posts on Instagram.